live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph. Hi everyone, welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, co-creator of Connections 50 Plus, and this is
Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, other co-creator. Really nice to be here with you once again.
And we welcome not just those in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not forgetting the islands. You all are all welcome, and thank you again for joining us.
Definitely.
So our topic today, we're going to be chatting about the new you and really resetting your compass as we journey into the 5.8G generation, okay? And last week, Terri-Ann, we had, a wonderful guest, and we got very, very great reviews. You know, people were just saying, wow, that was fantastic. And especially the entrepreneurs who called and said, she was speaking to us because we had June Blackburn. What you thought, Terri-Ann?
Jennifer, as I said at the end of last week, I was so excited. I was just excited because, you know, June tied in so very nicely just what we were talking about with connections. This 50 plus, this 5.8G generation, and us being in this time COVID lockdown. I keep separating the COVID virus from the time of lockdown and how that period of enforced quiet has forced all of us to think, and in that quiet our little voices, and sometimes it's a loud voice, it's not a little voice, but a loud voice comes in. Some of us didn't hear that voice for so long, and that voice is saying, hey, you forget me, here I am. And while people are using the period to think about how they will reassess their lives or reassess their business or their relationships, many people are realizing that what that person inside is shouting is sometimes very different to what the external person is saying. And we have, so much of what we do at Connections 50 Plus, looking at our 5.8G generation.
Yes.
It's about looking at you, our cohorts, you all out there. We know how much energy we have, how much knowledge, how much intuition, but we also know that we've come off of a train that was going at a certain speed. We are changing stations now. I'm going on a train metaphor, Jen. We're changing stations, and the new train is should be just as elegant. The speed might be a little different, a little bit more services and so on. But you know, we really realize we've got to do things a bit differently. It's not that we're going to retire, that's for 80. So I think that June's conversation last week has really, really confirmed to me the work that we're doing, even as we come out of doing the webinars and we're doing the consultations now, and I am just excited. You know, you get validation.
Yes, and that's why, Terri-Ann, as you know, we came up with a theme for today. You know, really the new you, and you have to reset. You know, look at the direction that you're going. So, what I would like to just discuss with Terri-Ann, when we're encouraging our tribe, I should say, we're encouraging you all out there to not just reset. Look, what direction are you going into? And that is the question I would like to ask you, the direction.
Yeah.
In some, Terri-Ann, and based on our consultations, and as you said, the coaching sessions so far, you know, when you ask that question, where to now? You know, people tended to go back to where they came from. You understand? Meaning that you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll just go back to work or I am home doing a little sideline, I will continue, but sort of taken off from where they left off, even though when they look at where they were before, not everybody was in a happy place or was successful with what they were doing. And that then tells us, listen, just for a moment, forget forget what you left. Let's look at what you can go to now, right? Your direction. Post-COVID, where am I heading?
Yes. Yes.
And then when you do that, and this is what has been happening, Terri-Ann, from the time they start to think, okay, you know what? Let's look at something different. Or maybe looking at doing a resetting, reset what I have, upgrade it, change it, look at remodeling it, and then when the excitement starts when that happens. So there are so many ways people can look at their situation to find, to get that answer as to where post-COVID could take them. And in chatting, Terri-Ann, you mentioned a couple of things in terms of how to get that compass going.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave you now to just suggest, or let's chat about ways that they can do this.
Yeah, Jen, one of the things that really stands out for me, and people, I'll tell you, Jennifer and I working together, I am always amazed at the symbiosis, the symbiotic, the energy of it. Because we've got a two-sided program now. We're saying life transition and entrepreneurship. And what we're finding is that people, they know I've got to go somewhere else. And they're either raring to go or afraid to go. And one of the things the first thing that we have to do, we've said it so many times before, and now we're going into the webinars, we're doing the assessments, it is so much more crystal clear. That takes stock. That takes stock.
Yes.
It is one of the first and most critical things that we have to do. And I don't mean this just in the context of business or even life, even our children. We have been through such a hectic second act, all of us, wherever we were, because we're actually the first generation that have all these choices for third actor. We are actually the first generation. I mean, unless we were born into wealth or born into a business or something like that, we are the first one. So the fact that after doing something for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 20 years, and it defined your life, the first thing before we jump into transitioning and deciding and locking in must be that step back. Because if we don't, we will continue with what we are doing. And that little body inside of there, me, M-E, who really has your best interest at heart, that person needs to have a say. That person needs to have a say. That person, you need to give that person a chance to come out and speak. As Jennifer says so often, forget all the who's and the what's and the why's and the maybes. Forget the responsibilities. The children, the husband, the parents, the house, the garden, the dog, the cat, the fish bowl, the fish, whatever it is so important for us to, when we make a decision, we must know how far away from our true desire we are going. And I would say that first step has to be get yourself still and do some serious reflection. And I am amazed as we go through with our programs, Jennifer, I sit in on the coaching programs and I understand the process, how much is revealed, how much people literally stop and say, wow, this is me. There is a point of view for me.
Yeah.
Because we make so many automatic decisions based on external forces. I mean, you might still make the decision that is conditional on what is best for something outside of you. But it's so different when you make that decision knowing what your compromise is.
Yeah.
And agreeing to it, as opposed to being forced into making a decision and you know you don't want to do it.
And Terri-Ann, you see the comfort zone? Let me refer to you in a comfort zone. That comfort zone could be a block. Because when you are in a comfort zone, you're in the office, you're working, you're really getting that sense of satisfaction that you have the energy and you could go to work and you're getting paid. Or you have a business going, it may not be ideal, but it's bringing in an income and it have you active, right? Those who may be home and you say, you know what, I have worked hard, I am home, I could just enjoy life. Why am I going to look, beyond that? Because you don't know what is beyond. So the unknown is
Jennifer,
what keeps us back.
That Jennifer. The partner you think that's going to be there with you all the time. The child that is going to be there. The associate. Sometimes at this stage, the reality of death is serious for us, and we must take cognizance of it. Don't you agree with that, Jennifer?
Totally. And when we speak about the new you, that's what you have to do, recognize what is happening. And Terri-Ann, to come out of your comfort zone, my suggestion is when you sit in that quiet moment to reflect, don't reflect on the past, actually not the present, but the future. My thing is, so you're not reflecting on the past, you're not reflecting on the present, you're reflecting on the future, meaning what would the new you be like? And really enjoy yourself visualizing without any blocks in the way. Okay, the universe just there for you to go out there and really say, yes, I am ready to do what I want to do.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
A lot of people have come out of the second act where they've lived behind a veneer of fear. They've put up an exterior, and it may not be an exterior. They had to hustle to maintain the position in the job. They had to live in a certain neighborhood, so they had to live a certain way. The children may have had problems, and you have to live to kind of keep the problems inside. Oh God, you go embarrass me outside. And sometimes when we are heading into this third act, do you find, and I am finding that in talking to some people, that you spend such a long time in fear of something being revealed, fear that whether it's something about someone close to you or yourself, fear that you think, oh, you're not good enough, or all these pretenses. It's a different challenge for that person to envision a future when you spend so much time in fear, and for that person, envisioning this new you is itself a challenge because they literally don't know how not to be afraid.
You're correct, because when you're envisioning the new you, moving from the second act to the third act, is who you see as your role model, If when you look on to the third act, or you listen to those who are on the third act, And all you hear is a lot of complaints about the health, either the aches and pains, complain about the money not being enough, recognizing that with the cost of living and the retirement income or the interest on your deposit that you thought would have been your safety net is no more. You know, so when you hear the complaints or the concerns or the challenges, and you can actually refer to people, you say, oh, I know this one worked with me, they were in such a position, the income was so high, and look at them now, they cannot even afford to enjoy life, you know. Or when I meet with them, I'm only hearing complaints. If you focus on those, and there are a lot, actually, there are a lot of those in the third act that is about complaint, you know. So I would say to remove the fear, moving from the second act to the third act, really associate and chat with those who you admire, who enjoy the quality of life that you want to enjoy. And many times, Terri-Ann, it is not about the income. Would you believe?
Yes.
It is not about the income.
Yes.
Because different things bring us joy. But the perception, you know, for one to look successful in the third act or to look like enjoying life, sometimes it's tied into still what you're driving, or where you live in, and that sort of thing. So you have to decide, you have to release. You have to be able to release, and as you said, that the status quo, you have to recognize the status quo. Forget that now. This is, and we keep repeating it, this is about you, the new you. And you go out there enjoying life. You face reality. We speak about that all the time. You face reality. Your income, you know that from before, your income going to be less. Even if you go into entrepreneurship, you have to put out money. And when you do, it means it reducing that safety net, because you use that saving towards, you know, investing in a business, which nothing is wrong with that. But recognizing that, then you have to adjust your lifestyle, still to be happy, but you're adjusting your lifestyle, not for the status quo. Meaning that you may not be able to drive the high-end car again, or I shouldn't say drive, maintain a high-end car, or change your car as often. But you can drive something that is acceptable, let me use that word, and not breaking down. Because, and be happy, but you have to be within yourself, Terri-Ann, first of all, like who you are. You know, like, you know, they say, like the skin you're in.
Yes. Yes.
You need that acceptance is important. But I would say, yes, you can easily, and I have done it, and I'm enjoying this stage of life. And it is because I released a lot. I released a lot. I have absolutely, and I came out, as you know, from a career that was high end, and it's all about, as you say, posture and making sure that you look healthy, you look wealthy,
and wise,
and you stepping out. You have to step out from a car that is on the high end. You have to step out from the house. You know, everything was about image. And I had decided, you know what? I have to let go. This is I like the image, but what type of image? Is not an image that will cost me. I am no longer there. So I could step out of any kind of car I want or any home I want, and I don't feel anything, and have been accepted, you know, for the choice I have made. So it is about really looking at the direction that you want to go into, and releasing all that was on the second, not all, but the things that was on that were on the second stage that may cause you to disconnect. If I may say it like that.
You know, it is really amazing. You know, first if we have to go on this reset and this new direction, it is about listening and letting the inner self, inner voice come out, and
Yes.
then making serious decisions, regardless of fear, regardless of whatever it is, but making decisions about the next steps that you would take. But we are here and we are able to help people, thank God, do that. And even as we do it, we enhance and grow ourselves so much, you know? So, Jennifer.
And it's always great when we have guests coming on, because the guests, give a different perspective, and men and women. And that way, it's just that, okay, for instance, like with June, as you mentioned before, those in entrepreneurship can relate, especially when she spoke about her personal life, how she started to look within, So we have persons from different spheres of society coming in and chatting and sharing. And this COVID have many of us really checking themselves. I was, just before we came on air, Terri-Ann, I was speaking with a friend who mentioned that, she was in conversation with some others, and they told her, we have decided to move forward with a certain plan that they had. And she said, so many years they have been speaking about that plan. Why now? And I said, the COVID. Because it gave them time to reflect. You had to actually close down the business and had no choice but to face reality in terms of, now that the business closed, what's our next step? Isn't it an opportunity to upgrade? Maybe bring in some new products or move out some old products that wasn't effective or bringing in any profit.
Yeah.
So we do it with ourselves also. What are we moving out?
Yeah.
What are we throwing out?
Yeah.
What sort of clearance we are going to be engaged in to really say, well, now this is the new me. I am not moving forward with any baggage. I am moving forward, taking charge of my situation.
Yeah. And Jan, the point you make, that's sit down and think about it. Because one of the things with the fortunate part, I'm beginning to be so optimistic about this whole lockdown situation. You look at these statistics. At the end of the day, most of us are going to make it out on the other side untouched or recovered. Plain and simple. So, you're looking forward. It's not like we're at war and bombs may drop, or like there's a plague or some kind of thing like that. We know that once we do certain things, and as I said last week, we as a people have control that we've socially distanced. We have kept sanitation standards high. We are understanding the importance of the mask if we are in others' company, So we know we're going to get out of this situation and start over, but not start over from ashes, start over from where we left off. And because the context has changed, we have an opportunity to use hindsight, all the things that we did well, all the things that we made mistakes with. And when we restart, the entire world is willing to accept a new offering. The entire world. So you don't even have the burden of saying, oh gosh, how am I going to get customers to change and accept my new offering? Or if you weren't in business, how will I get my family or my loved ones to live like this? How do I get them to accept, or at least once a week we must sit at the table for dinner? Or let's do it twice a week. Or let's have a Zoom meeting with the family all abroad at least once a week or once a month. It's not like you have to drag somebody out of an old habit. So even facing this new time, this new life, this new you post-COVID, it's easy because everybody across the world had to lock down and had to find other ways of doing things, So you don't have the fear of what will they say about me. I want to be different. And would anybody accept it? Everybody has to be different. It really is a very unique time.
Terri-Ann, I'm
Unique
agreeing.
time.
I am thinking, as you mentioned about family
Mhm.
and this time, what came to mind is COVID has given us a good excuse to change. I would say a good excuse that even if things weren't going good before and you didn't want anybody to know about it, and you out there just playing that everything going all right, whether it's in the job, whether it's your business, or whether your family. Now you can say, you could come out and said, because of what we went through, blaming it on the COVID, we are now going to do X, Y, and Z. So look at the opportunities. So, and that is what we are doing, Terri-Ann.
Yeah.
Looking and helping our clients to look at the new opportunities. Forget all the negatives. Forget what didn't go well. Blame it on the COVID. Now,
The lockdown, and the COVID, the lockdown.
lockdown. The lockdown has caused us now to reflect and to move forward in a different way. So for the family, we say, this is how as a family we're moving forward now. The lockdown put us together in a closed space.
Yeah.
Some of us who not as close, but had us do things differently. So this is how we're moving forward. We either maintaining those habits that we adopted during the lockdown, or we realize that not working. This is the chance for us to now fix that because we now know what is not working.
Yes.
And that's how I look at it for the opportunities.
Yes.
You move forward and you say, you know what? I didn't realize I was such a good cook or gardener or planner, or I was that techie. All these things. You look at your new skills. You actually, Terri, and we did, many of us developed new skills as a result of the lockdown.
Look at this, Jennifer. Look at this.
Those who weren't on social media before, appreciating the social media. A client called and she asked, Jennifer, how are you all doing on Zoom? I have a client to meet and I don't know how to work it. Because the client said they can meet on Zoom. She was too embarrassed to say, I don't know how to do it. And she called me. Suddenly I'm expert now to say this is what you do.
Yes.
So we have developed many different skills. We unearthed those sort of talents that we didn't even know we had. Patience, with one of our clients who mentioned she could not believe she can just stay home like that because she was a very, very active person.
Yeah.
But she has learned not just to stay home, but to develop ideas while she's home doing different things that, you know what? I could now develop this into a business. I now have the patience to do that. I didn't know I could have done that. So it's really during this lockdown, and we're coming out of it because we have people back out in the workplace. We're moving about a little more freely, but cautiously. We start to explore new opportunities. We start to look at the skills that we have developed, whether these new skills can be converted. Terri-Ann, and you are there helping with the entrepreneurship, not helping, but guiding and advising, that some of the skills new skills you have developed can be incorporated either in your existing business or to expand your business. So I am seeing, there are so many possibilities. Actually, Terri-Ann, I am not seeing any negative out of it. It makes us stronger, or I choose not to focus on, and which is the biggest negative of this all, the deaths that occur in, especially overseas, but we do not have control over that. We have control. And within our country, as you mentioned, we have really bind together to ensure that we got rid of the curve, you know. So yes, it is there. This is a time for opportunities. This is a time.
And Jennifer, what we have to remember too, and it's part of the reflection, is that we are realizing that we're not as separated from those UK and US deaths,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, the highest concentration of deaths are in cities, dense urban populations, and amongst populations with certain pre-existing conditions and comorbidities. They're either hypertensive, diabetic, obese,
Yeah.
and they have to be the frontline people, the bus drivers,
yeah.
the retail workers, the service people, the delivery people. And a lot of them are either Caribbean immigrants,
Oh yes.
or they are our granny, granddad, auntie, uncle, or cousin. A lot of them have Caribbean antecedents, you know. So I don't know anyone who has people abroad, and I know you know people who, yes, I know this one cousin, that one cousin, they were down the street. I have a friend from San Fernando, and 10 people in the neighborhood in which she lived in Brooklyn died from COVID. So the lockdown has caused us to think, but the lockdown has also brought us grief, in that people who we looked up to because they were striving to do better, and in some instances probably supporting us here, succumbed to COVID. And the succumbing, and this is pointing to another area that we have to think about in this new life. Because very often when we think of going forward, as we were saying before, we think of it in the terms of the other. And a lot of that sacrificing for others causes us to not eat on time, not eat well, not exercise, not take care of ourselves, because we are so locked into service of others and duty to others. And we do harm to ourselves. And part of the determining our new direction, part of the changing this direction, part of the response to the news of who has died from COVID, or who is, and I don't know, when I go in on a plane again, I don't think I'm making that trip to Washington or New York or Miami or Toronto or London. I don't know that I want to go on a cruise in a hurry. All those old dreams, you realize now, it's not that you don't want to go on a plane because you know the plane going to get safe. It's deep down inside, perhaps you know that you've not taken care of yourself very well, and you are probably predisposed to, if you get the virus, and the virus will be with us, you are likely to have a very intense episode. And that's where the fear and so on comes in. So when we talk about the third act and the new stage, and get ready for the 5.8G, you have to be there, as you say, with your wealth, with your friends, and healthy. This lockdown has brought different dimensions to us. It's closer than we think.
Terri-Ann, I agree. I am thinking definitely, and you know, we all in the Caribbean have, as you said, family and friends, especially when we look in the US, and we, you know, in terms of we all sympathize with the family, we reach out to them. What I would say on that, and you mentioned it, is that, and let me just tie in just in case with the opportunity, we definitely in sympathy with those who had families dead, with the whole world right now, with what is going on with COVID. But when you look at it, And I prefer it because that is in control. I'm in control of that. My mind and how I think is, what can we learn from it? And you said it. What we can learn is knowing, especially we are more prone, and I'm saying we West Indians, we Blacks are prone to certain type of diseases, like what you see, genetics, like the diabetes, etc. And because we are more aware, we are aware of it even more now because of the statistics with the COVID deaths, that we should definitely examine how we are living our life right now in terms of the health. What should we cut out? Because we are not waiting for it to reach here. You take action for you, but you also, let's say, like, spread the word. Because I have been, following on the social media and looking at certain stories. And when in our own, our health, and in terms of news, and we speak about obesity in Trinidad right now, which could lead to so many things, that I think the COVID had made us or making us more aware of how serious or how easy it is for us to suffer health-wise with so many of these different ailments. So moving forward, we want to know, yes, are you, and my question would be, are you prepared health-wise? The new you, what is the new you? Because the new me, definitely, Terri-Ann, when I look at the health aspect, has been a big, big change, a real big change. Because I agree with you. I became very fearful from very early when I heard what the symptoms were, and of course, targeting, as to say, the age, and I had to face reality. Yeah, I mean,
5.8 G.
I had to face reality.
We there.
When they say any age and they say in 6, I say, okay, Jennifer, yes, they're talking to you. What are you going to do differently? And immediately I looked at my way of eating, because I made that choice. I had to build my immune system. So that, for me, that was the opportunity for me to eat differently. Certain things I really still don't like, but guess what? I keep reminding myself, listen, you better eat up, like how they tell the children, eat up.
Eat your vegetables.
Eat up,
Eat your vegetables.
whether you like it or not, because guess what?
No juice, no juice, eat your vegetables.
Yeah. So any second wrongs, you're going to be healthy and be able to deal with it.
And Jennifer, I think we can share with our, I am really proud of us, and I'll say this unreservedly, because as we sat and talked through a lot of the motivations and the 3 pillars, that economic well-being, the social network, and the self-care, you'd have heard us dropping hints, and probably at the end of next month, we are coming with that anti-COVID, we could call it an anti-COVID package.
Yeah.
We have a name for it. But really looking at the self. Because what's the point? We are talking to people who are transitioning in life. All right, I'm shedding the baggage. I am going to be focused on things that keep me fulfilled, that keep me happy. I'm going to do it. But you're morbidly obese, you're hypertensive, you're diabetic, and you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy it. It doesn't make sense, So and then the other thing, you're there, but you've lived such a tunneled life, focused on, be it work, be it family, be it whatever it is, and all these, the people have gone on, the children have gone on, the who have emigrated, who has moved to another area, And you sit and you're there with your lonesome self and you don't know who you could have been separated by that. And you may have lost the skill of how to connect with new people, of how to learn to trust strangers, to become friends. There are so many challenges in this transition to this new life that if we don't, and especially I mean for us 5.8G who I'm talking to here, you know, there are so many challenges when we look at it and see it. And I suppose our experience and the paths that we've traveled before sometimes wouldn't help us, because we could say how many pitfalls coming down that road we decide not to move at all, forgetting that we have the resilience and the ability and the stamina to deal with it. You know, when we first saw those pitfalls, we didn't have experience or resilience, but now we do. So it's really exciting and brave, you know, that new road and that new journey is something that we can look forward to. And I am so convinced that Connections 50 Plus has the formula, right? Don't we?
And Terri-Ann, before we close, and I like what you said there, and for all of our followers, Trinidad, Tobago, and the islands listening in, our package, Terri-Ann, that Evolution 5.8G Reset package, we combined the life transition coaching with the entrepreneurship consultancy. And we combine it because we recognize that people need both, because that was has been coming out. We did give an option, we still have that option. But we have recognized that with giving that option, when our clients come to us, they're saying, you know, at this time, we need to clear our head and move forward into the entrepreneurship with a clear head. And Terri-Ann, you said something, and it was an area I never thought of before. And I want to close by mentioning it, and I feel you may be the better person before I get it wrong. I like the idea about the business for profit, where you actually focusing on making the money. I'm not speaking about an NGO here, by the way, so don't get me mixed up. I'm not speaking about the NGOs. I'm speaking about you, the individual, you know, who may want to go into business, but see business as a lot of stress and having to do all these different things because you have to worry if you're not profitable, you're not going to be happy. And in sitting in with Terri-Ann, chatting with one of our clients who were not interested in the type of business as we know it, I learned a lot about, it's about your enjoyment. You are more or less giving back, but guess what? You still need to run it in the same format, set up the systems in place for the business to run successfully and make you happy, because what you really want is to utilize your knowledge and your expertise to really help others. And I always saw that more under the umbrella of an NGO and not as an individual. I thought, Terri-Ann, I should mention that because that for me, at this stage where you figured I should know it all, somewhere along the line, that said a lot to me. But yes, I can go out there, give back, help others. But for me to be happy and for me to make sure the others benefit, and when I say others, you know, those whoever you identify as your market out there to help, for them to really benefit, you need to set it up as a business. So Terri-Ann, I want to close on that and invite all our followers to get on board, check our website, check our Facebook page. You're going to see it under, you know, we have all the links. Look at the programs, especially right now, that Evolution 5.8G Reset, which covers both the life transition coaching and the business, the entrepreneurship consultancy. I needed to say that because I see it's so important for you being the new you. Terri-Ann.
Absolutely, Jennifer. And you know, I think as I listen to our tapes, I'm saying, wow, Terri-Ann, Jennifer is really influencing you, because sometimes I sound so coach-like, you know?
Yes.
And I'm listening to you there and I'm saying, wow, Jennifer, you're
consultant, business consultant / business consultant.
But one of the things that we have to remember to tell everyone before we go with that new package is, well, May 24th has passed, so our special pricing of $1,500 for the either or is no longer there. There is the rider. Of course, if you want to do both, you can. You pay just $1,000 extra and you get both. You get the 2 assessments and you get 8 sessions, 4 on life coaching and 4 on entrepreneurship. And our new price for the rest of the 3-month period, which would be towards July, was supposed to be $3,000. And guess what? The response that we've had, Jen and I have decided, no, there are many of you all who want to. We have brought that price, $3,000, down to $2,500. So our starter special, $1,500, has ended. All of you who've paid already, don't worry, you are locked in. You are locked in.
Yes.
But from now until the end of July, all right, May, June, July, you have the Reset program, which allows you a choice of life transition or entrepreneurship consultancy at a price of $2,500. And for both of them, you get a specific assessment to look at your life and a specific assessment to look at how you would deal with entrepreneurship, and 4 coaching hours in life or 4 coaching hours on entrepreneurship. And if you want to do both, and most people realize they want to do both because, as Jennifer said, business isn't always for profit. Sometimes you just want to do what you do in a structured way. You just have the same 1,000 rider for both of them. So we're giving ourselves a window until the end of July to get reset, get going. And we encourage you up the Caribbean, across Trinidad and Tobago, get on board 5.8G. We are ready. We are ready. So this has been great, Jennifer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All the best. Stay safe.
Yes.
Please. Okay. Bye.
Bye.